Hi guys, welcome to episode 10 of Lighthouse Wisdom, and thanks for coming on board again. And today we're going to talk about why we meditate, or the why of meditation. Essentially, there's a lot of information and education about how to meditate, and there's various different techniques. There's a lot of techniques out there, and whatever works, it's an individualized thing, I guess, in that way. I mean, there's sound technology meditation, there's breathing meditation, there's TM, transcendental meditation. There's a whole bunch. Kundalini Yoga has a whole bunch of meditations too. So in that respect, I want to talk about why we meditate and the reasons about it, because if we don't have a strong enough why in life, we don't have the hunger to do it, I guess, and we need to see value in doing it. And when we're doing the practices of meditation, we do see the value. But essentially, to have the motivation to do it, we need to know why we do it. And essentially, it's the number one practice in order to quieten our mind, and essentially, inner peace or peace comes from a quiet mind, and can't come from a busy mind. So essentially, we can get more intuitive guidance. Healing comes from a quiet mind. It's also great for stress and anxiety. It's the number one technique, holistic technique for relieving stress and anxiety and dis-ease, which is disharmony. It's really a fantastic thing to do. And essentially, for me personally, if I don't do it, I find my mind throughout the day. I tend to do mine in the morning. It's the best time, and at night before you go to sleep. If you want to mix some mantras up with it as well, like that triple mantra that I suggest in episode 2, it's a great way to start in with a mantra and then meditate. And essentially whatever you want to do. But the why of it as well is that we get to a place where we actually, essentially, if you imagine a stone dropping into water, and our mind during the day or at night or whatever, particularly during the day when we're working, is very choppy, like the surface of the water. And then when we drop a stone in, it obviously comes through the choppiness and then goes down to the bottom, right? So as we go down to the bottom, it's a much more stiller ocean, and the deeper we go, the more stiller it is. But always at the surface of the water, it's always choppy. And if we want to use that analogy, it's the same with our mind. So whenever essentially, the ego, loves to, these thoughts that keep bombarding us, and the only real way of settling them down, one of the best ways, is meditation, because we then realise that all these thoughts don't actually mean anything, because they essentially disappear when we allow ourselves to get to the meditative state. And there's so many tests and research and that's been done on meditation, how healthy it is for you. It takes practice, so don't give up on the first attempt, because the more you do it, the more you see value and the more peaceful your mind is. And then you become more present as well, and it's important to add some exercises on top of the meditation by, really looking at ways you can become more present during the day, more mindful. There's a lot of books and a lot of YouTube explanation about mindfulness, and it's great to look up because it goes hands in hand with meditation. We meditate to become more present as well. We're not worried about the future or have regrets about the past. Both of those are illusions, but our ego mind loves to kind of jump between the both. So when we meditate, we actually come more into the present moment, and we're not jumping between future and present. To be honest with you, the more we can meditate, the better, to be honest, because it's, your mind quickly can swirl up again. Essentially, when you want to do some value adds to that meditation to keep kind of a meditative state throughout the day. And another good way of doing that is to, take the lens back, take a step back from your situation. I spoke about the fourth dimension practice. And they're really good ways of actually, stepping back from your situation, so you're not so ingrained in what's going on during the day, so we can remain in that meditative state and take the focus off you and think about someone else, have a look at actually why the situation's going on from a much bigger perspective. So taking the lens back, and it also helps to keep the mind still. Eckhart Tolle's great at talking about, The Power of Now. It's a great book, and The New Earth's his other second book there, and he's got a lot of great YouTube stuff as well. So whatever it takes, the idea is to become more present during the day, more peaceful, not as stressed, not as anxious, and also to, when we're meditating, so often answers to our problems will come if we ask in the meditation. They'll drop in, and there'll be a vision or a symbol or something. So it's important to, if you want to, journal afterwards what you saw and what you heard, so you remember it, and that way we can really take advantage of this practice in the most beneficial way. And there's a lot of tests done about if there's in group meditations as well. People when they meditate in big groups, the power of that unity is really solid. And one other thing I'll mention about meditation is that because we've got this split mind happening and two voices running, meditation helps to bring the mind to unity, and it's not so separated, so we don't have as many separated thoughts throughout the day. Particularly when we're meditating and after, we find that we have that one more unified mind, and the more we do it, more we practice, the more we're opening more neuro pathways to more positive things, and also removing old blocks and healing and all sorts of things. The chakras love it, the mind loves it, the soul loves it. You start looking more healthier, but it unifies the mind as well, and so it's not so split, and we're not having so many separated thoughts. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits of the why of meditation, why we do it. And I'm so glad I got onto it early, because it's my go-to thing to do, and I do it every day now. And you just got to get into the practice of doing it. Most biggest excuse why we don't do it is people say don't have enough time. But is that really true? You'd probably make time to, go down to the video shop and get a DVD, or look on Facebook. So if you've got enough time to look on Facebook, you've got enough time to meditate, right? It really comes down to priorities at the end of the day. All right, well, that's episode 10 of Lighthouse Wisdom. We've done a 10 block now. Hope you enjoyed the first 10 block, and we'll see you in episode 11 of Lighthouse Wisdom. The why of meditation. Hope if you haven't meditated, I really encourage you to start practicing. And if you do meditate now, good on you. And remember, there is no bad meditation. So if you're not feeling as peaceful as you were expecting afterwards, it doesn't mean nothing's happened. So just remember that as well. All right, this is Johnny Carter TV for Lighthouse Wisdom. Bye for now.